I was just thinking about red pill content and where it went wrong because I feel like it could have been a positive thing. It could have turned into something that was actually good instead of where it is now, right? Because now red pill content is viewed as like the worst thing you can do at this point, right? It's almost like embarrassing. There's a cringe aspect to anyone that openly watches red pill content. But I remember my introduction to it was I seen like Kevin Samuels clips early on, and it was just him kind of like just going in on dudes on the phone, right? Kind of just pretty much bringing them down to reality. Like a lot of these dudes that would call would had like delusional expectations of like the women they should get with, right? And he would just bring them down. And then he transitioned to women, and that's when he kind of really blew up. And then there was, Fresh and Fit came out, and I just remember like this guy was just always spazzing on chicks, right? Like that was like the concept of the show to me. Never watched it, right? But that's what it seemed like. And then Andrew Tate came out, and I never really knew. I can't really pinpoint what Andrew Tate was message was, but I know it was red pill content, right? But either way, all this stuff just turned into like anti-women propaganda, right? And then eventually people caught on, and now it's just like, they're irrelevant in a sense, right? But what I wish they would have done, which Kevin Samuels seems to have done initially, like I never dove too deep into it, so I could be off on this, but originally it seemed like he was making content to help men, right? And I wish they would have stuck with that, right? I wish Kevin Samuels never transitioned to women. I wish he would have stayed mainly focused on men, where he helped men, be realistic about their dating expectations, right? Like, or Fresh and Fit, instead of having a bunch of IG models around the table where you could just spaz on them, like maybe they should have had like a circle of dudes that are, insecure, have low confidence, stuff like that, and they could have helped them kind of like build them up, or stuff like that. I wish they would have just focused on actual male positivity, because yeah, there is a lot of men out there that lack self confidence, they're insecure, they're in toxic relationships, that don't know how to deal with women, that are getting abused and taken advantage of by women, right? Those dudes are out there, and that's what they gravitate towards this content. But I don't think the information this content's given is actually helping them, right? I think they need to focus more on teaching men how to deal with these things and navigate these things through life, instead of just blaming the women for everything. Now, yes, some of these women, should be held accountable, but that's not really their responsibility. It's like they should focus only on the male portion of it, and making men more confident, teaching men how to level up financially, emotionally, spiritually, that kind of stuff. That's where red pill content should have went, instead of where it is now. Because now, I mean, like, I don't even see their clips anymore. I mean, maybe it's still around, I just, it's not on my algorithm and stuff like that. But I wish they would have focused more on men's mental health, men's physical appearance. And like I said, maybe they do, and I just never saw it. But it doesn't seem like that's where it went. Could be off here.